Hello and welcome back. So by now I'm sure we all know how to install Latex on our machines. Before we continue to deep dive into exploring the features of Text Studio and then eventually starting to type with Latex with Text Studio, let's go over some reserved characters and some key terminologies used in Latex. Now the first one we will be looking at is the reserved characters. So these are characters that are used by Latex itself. So Latex uses some specific characters to fulfill certain tasks by it, which means that by default you can't type those characters just like that in order to use them in Latex. So these characters, we have the caret. Mostly the caret is used to type exponents or superscripts. So if you are typing in mathematics and then you want to raise something to a particular power, you use the caret symbol for that. So that's what Latex uses the caret symbol for by default. And for curly braces, we use it in order to group some items. So you are performing, let's say you are raising a function as the superscript of another function, then you put the superscript function in a set of curly braces so that the whole group will be affected. Another reserved character is the $sign. So the $sign mostly is used to activate the math environment in Latex. So if maybe you are typing, you want to leave there and then start typing some mathematical formulae, you could just use the $sign to activate the math environment, so which will then allow you to type in your math formulae and other stuffs. The next one we'll be looking at is the ampersand or the and symbol. Now mostly this is used for alignment, so you would see this most often when we are dealing with tables. So you can't just type and in Latex and then it will just work. So there's a special way we would have to deal with it. Up next we have the tilde symbol. This is also not allowed generically in Latex. The percentage symbol is mostly used for comment. So if you want to leave a comment in your documentation, you could use the percentage symbol for that, or the percentage sign, sorry. The next one is the underscore. So unlike the caret, we use the underscore for the subscripts. So if you want to write a number or anything as a subscript of a particular function or a particular number in the math environment, we use the underscore to do that. And then we have the backslash. The backslash is mostly used to begin commands. So as we'll be seeing in some few seconds time, we have something we call commands, and then we normally use the backslash to begin the command. So anytime you see a backslash starting something, bear in mind that that thing is a command. And there are a whole lot of reserved characters, but then I think we covering this will be enough for now. So as we said earlier, so we asked ourselves, so now can't we still use these reserved characters? Can't we just type them to mean them? Can't we just type caret without meaning that we are raising an exponent? Can't we just type underscore to mean that we are putting a subscript? Can't we just type maybe percentage or dollar without meaning that we are commenting or not in our Latex document? Yes, we can. Just that we just have to type them in a special way that the Latex will understand that this time around we don't mean those commands or those special features, but we just mean their raw meaning as the symbols they are. So in order to do that, we just have to, so for caret, you first have to put in the backslash, which we said that, which means it's a command. You are commanding Latex to just type a caret and then you end it with an opening and closing curly braces. Then this will just output the caret symbol for you. You do the same thing. Now for the curly braces itself, you would have to put a backslash with the opening curly braces and then the backslash and the closing curly braces. This tells Latex that you are using a real backslash, a real curly braces, not one which is being used as groupings. Then for the $sign, for Latex to know that you are using a dollar sign, you just have to bring the backslash and then the dollar sign, which means that you're commanding LaTeX to use the dollar sign, not to start activating the math environment. And then the end, you do the same thing, use the backslash and then the ampersand. Then for the tilde, you also use the backslash with the symbol, and then you use the opening and closing curly braces to activate that one as well. For the percentage, if you want to bypass it, all you have to do, use a backslash and a percentage symbol. Then for the underscore, is the same as the tilde and then the caret. So you the backslash, the underscore, and then the opening and closing curly braces. Now here comes the backslash. So for us to use backslash without LaTeX thinking that we are about starting a command, all we have to do is, one way of doing it is use the math environment, that's the dollar sign. You start the dollar and end it. Between them you put in your backslash, but then you put a backslash, the symbol that's like you are commanding it to print out at backslash, so you type the backslash there yourself. Alright, now let's come to some terminologies that we will need to understand before diving deep into LaTeX. So these terminologies are the environments and then commands. So what do we mean by an environment in LaTeX, and what do we mean by a command in LaTeX? Basically, a command is just some special words that determine LaTeX behavior. So what do you want LaTeX to do, or what at that particular line, what is LaTeX supposed to do? That's what we use a command. And usually we use the backslash, as we said earlier, to begin a command, or to tell LaTeX that the word after it is going to be a command. So execute this command for me. So we use the backslash and then probably some parameters at the end of the backslash, and mostly we sometimes put some of the arguments in set of curly braces, as you'll be saying. So now let's look at some examples of this command. So for instance, we have the backslash and then the BF argument, so which mostly stands for the bold face or bold font. So if you want to make your text bold, you use this to, and then you put the argument. So the argument will now take the word you want to bolden, or the sentences, or whatever you want to bolden, you put it in place of the argument there, and then you get that. And then we also have the begin command. So mostly we use this if you want to begin an environment, a particular environment, but what are you beginning? So the argument might be the environment name, which you'll be seeing later in the for the section of the environment. And then we have the item. So it's an item command. So you're telling LaTeX that no, what you want to print out is an item, or it should execute the item command in it. Then we have the large command. We have the square brackets. So as I said, if you want to just type square bracket, you have to pass that backslash and then tell it that no, I am calling the root square bracket command. And then the same way we did for the tilde, we do the same thing. The use package, we also have the use package commands. We also have the end argument command as well. So now let's move to the environment. So basically the environment is, unlike the commands that deals for a particular line, the environment performs an action on a block of something. So it performs an action in whatever lies between it, and mostly we normally start or begin our environment and then end the environment, and then put the set of commands that we want the environment to affect, or we want the environment to work on, or yes, so we put those set of commands or something, as we said here, inside the begin and then the end of that specific environment. So as I said, it puts its contents inside a text group so that commands used inside the environment don't leak out. So basically that's what we do for the environment. Now, so an example of such an environment, we have the document. So to start the document environment, we begin the document environment, and then we end the document. So you have to begin. So you first call the begin command, and then finally you call the end command. But within the begin and then the end, you put all the codes, all the text, everything you want to put in the document environment, you put it inside there. Also, we have the frame. So you begin frame, you end frame environment. So that's the frame environment. You have the block environments too as well. So you begin the block, you end the block. You have the enumerate. So you can call this environment as well. But then you can see that there's a trend here. For every environment, we begin and end. So bear that in mind. You begin, and then inside the curly braces, you put the name of the document inside the curly. You put the name of the environment inside the curly braces. So we also have the math environment. You begin and end the math environment. The flash left environment as well. The center, and there are a whole lot of environments. So you'll be getting used to lots of them as we go on. Bear in mind that environments help us to apply some particular commands at a group or on a group of words, and then anything outside the environment is not affected by the commands inside the environment. Now let's talk about comments. As we said, in order to leave a comment in our LaTeX, we just have to do what? Use the percentage sign and then type everything after the percentage sign to mean that we are commenting, or we are using those words as comments. So which means that when we print or we compile and output our LaTeX files, the files or the text after the percentage sign won't be printed in our document. So now that we've gone through what reserved characters are, how to use them in LaTeX, and how to bypass them being regarded as reserved characters, we also spoke about how to identify commands and then distinguish between them and then the environment, and as well we spoke about the comments. Now I think we are ready with the terminologies, which means that we can now move further and then go deep and then look at the features of our text studio. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you.